I think the bigger picture here is also like, okay, if you were to watch this online, which we are, we have no control. Nick had no help. The guy who went and, did like break into her house. Like, what can a society do when something like this happens? Especially when you have access to a platform of 7.5 million people at any given second. Like, as a society, ethically, what is the right thing to do? And obviously we're, speculating. We are making it content, making it art, making money, not much, but some money from speculating on this. Is that inherently wrong? Are we, doing something, a huge disservice to her by even speculating that it could not be true? Like, where's the family? Where's the police? Like, what can police do? Is there a level below police that should be there? I feel like very helpless in this situation. Like, no matter what you do, other than ignore it, you're hurting potentially. But ignoring it is also hurting it. So what do you do?
I mean, Gabbie is aware that she's going to get attention for it. I don't know if right now she's realizing if she is going through this crisis, maybe she's not realizing while going through the crisis that she's going to get attention, but she's got so much attention before that she would be unrealistic not to expect. This is why it's hard to believe it almost, because I think to some extent to a large extent Gabbie has done a lot of things to gather that attention, to get every time everyone's quiet, because lately everyone's been quiet about her, nobody's been posting about her, nothing's happened, and now she's posting this just kind of, I don't know if she's doing it to cause a stir, but she's done it before to cause a stir. So
Yeah.
she knows that it does cause a stir. So I feel like coming out of it and being like, why did people talk about it? That would be weird, because that's what happens. She's a celebrity,
And this has happened before. I didn't know about it because I wasn't involved in YouTube at the time. But there was a guy, Steven was telling me about this creator who, and you might know it, sort of had similar things about the Jesus stuff and the reincarnation stuff. And then he went on Keemstar, and Keemstar was like pushing him, and like they did a live together, and it was very odd. And then apparently he killed himself. And that was the result.
Oh my God.
Yeah, like
Really?
the result of that. And I don't know the details about it, but
I don't know this. I don't know who this is.
yeah, I forget his name.
Wow, I'm so sorry to hear that.
Yeah, so like obviously that was real, and that was and it was handled similarly, where it was like, okay, let's discuss, we'll bring him on the show, we'll talk to him, like, people were concerned, but then like there's really nothing we can do. And that's, I think, the problem with all of this. It's like we're able to see the depth of people's crisis because of the platform, but we're just as incapable to help somebody as we are to help someone who's in the house next door that we don't know what's going on. And it's confusing as a human being. Like, if your sister was going through this and it was happening in your house, I would assume you would be like, okay, this is number one priority, help my sister. But I'm seeing her update in real time, and I have you can't do anything. Anyone watching this can't do anything. And it's hard to like compute.
And even when they do, it's almost doing more damage than good. Like Nick, let's assume that he wasn't lying and he did go to help. He did more damage, I think. Mm-hmm. If 100%. That's real,
yeah.
So it's almost like better not to attempt to interact, I think, with someone that is your family. If you do something like that, if they do something like that, then you know them. You are a lot more capable to help someone that you know,
Definitely.
than you are with someone who's essentially not part of your family or group of friends or anything. So no, I don't like that Kim intervened in that. Like,
yeah, it's Etika was the creator.
God, I'm so sorry. I did not know about this.
Yeah, it happened in 2019. He was a YouTuber, and Keemstar of course, wonderful person he is. I hate him, just
I
for the
hate him
record.
too.
He said to him, then why live? Just jump off a cliff. Less than 2 months later, Etika actually did jump off of a bridge and died.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
Yeah. It says, in the world of petty YouTube drama, there's no bigger name than Keemstar. The 37-year-old YouTuber whose real name is Daniel Keem is best known for his Drama Alert channel, where he capitalizes on the constant stream of infighting within YouTube culture. Okay. For months prior to his suicide, Etika publicly struggled with mental illness, posting delusional and suicidal thoughts on social media and recording multiple confrontations with police that led to brief stints in institutions. Keemstar took Etika's arrest as an opportunity to bring him on the show to make light of his mental illness, suggest that his suicidal musings were an act, and ultimately egg him on like he was a sideshow attraction. See, now I'm like, fuck, you know? I think
And this is the thing. See, this is the danger with someone who's not qualified trying to help or
Yeah.
whatever it is that they're doing. Like Nick, Kim, in these on these occasions, they don't know anything about how to help. So literally, like this is the most extreme case, and it can literally happen like that.
Yeah.
What you're showing us with Nick, it's the same thing. Nick did not understand. Like, if someone is to help, the most qualified people to do this would be the psych ward, and even the psych ward, they were like, "Okay, you want to go."
Yeah, and that's an issue too, but it's like I believe that people have rights to not be institutionalized. Like I very strongly believe that. But then again, like if something like this is happening, it's like, well, they need help. But then it just feels like, again, I think I'm making this about myself because I'm, you know, selfish, but like it does feel like because of the internet, because we're aware of all of the problems that everyone has in the world, like something as big as climate change and something as small as what's going on with her, we feel like we should be able to do something to help, but we can't. And I don't know what to do with those
It's human
feelings.
nature because obviously they're making this a public thing. So obviously, and you can clearly see that she's alone and stuff, so obviously, like, everyone watching this is like, oh my God, what's going on, like, someone get her help. But like at the end of the day, I would not feel comfortable to go to her house if I was
No,
like,
don't go to our house,
if
but
I
like
was in
yeah,
LA,
yeah.
I would not go to her house. I would be like, I'm not qualified to help. Even if I would like to help, I would have to find some sort of way to do it with someone who can actually understand how to do it, how to help.
But even
Like,
they're not legally like supposed to. Like you can't just send a therapist to someone's house. I mean,
yeah,
you could, but like that's not
yeah.
necessarily like do, you know. But then
This
I'm like
is on
thinking
her
like
family, I would say. Like, her family
yeah.
needs to step in and just like see if they can help. And eventually, at the end of the day, even if the family can't help, there's nothing like,
Or
I
take the
don't know.
platform, take her account down temporarily or something. You know,
But
I
is
don't
that
know.
going to, like, she could still be spiraling without the account?
Sure. I
It's
don't
like
know.
it's more like that would help us not to see it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, true. I agree. And I think sometimes it's like things that are hard to see are necessary to see, but like even reading this, I'm like, how much are we responsible? Meaning you and I, or people like us who are, you know, not trying to hurt her, not trying to say like, oh, jump off a cliff then, obviously. Like that's never going to be our intention. But how much responsibility do we bear by questioning whether it's real, what her past? Like, I don't know. I have a lot of those concerns when I do anything. But then it's like, don't I have a right to express myself? Like, it's just a never ending neuroticism in my brain about what's right and what's wrong, what should I do and not do.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I know what you mean. I mean, obviously, the ethics of this are like, we can discuss the ethics like
Sure.
forever, but the reality of the situation is that she has been covered by the news, covered by drama channels, covered by all this. She knows that the minute she posts something, she's gonna get the attention and this is how they survive. This is how influencers and famous people survive. If they don't get any coverage when they do something, if like Brad Pitt makes a movie, but he does not get coverage that he's making that movie,
Sure.
the movie's not gonna get as many watchers. It's not gonna make as much money. So
Hmm.
this is like a two-way street. Like you can't ask people, yes, only cover when it's good.
I
Like
know
never
that's the
cover
thing
when it.
too. I hate
Yeah,
that
you.
as well. It's really not fair because it's like when someone is that's always the conversation with like haters and critique. It's like, how dare you critique my work, my business, whatever. But then if it's good, it's like, why is no one awarding me awards? You know, and I hate that mentality.
And
But
the thing
then
is
when
that they are awarded. They are
yeah,
getting awards and they are getting
financially,
money. And that they're getting sponsors and they're getting everything that they're getting is based on these people watching and based on this like publicity that they get. So of course that comes with like it's a double-edged sword. It comes with like people criticizing you. It comes with people like looking at what you do with a critical eye and giving their opinion when it's bad as well. You can't
sure,
have one without the other because then
yeah,
it's like it's just a promotion. If it's only
yeah.
the good stuff, it's like a paid advertisement.
That's a great point. That is a really good point. And it's almost like there is a level of personal responsibility by, okay, I want to pursue a YouTube career. I want to pursue a Vine career or whatever. But then again, you think about how old these kids are, like a Jeanette McCurdy who was on a show when she was a minor. I don't know if Gabbie Hanna was under 18 when she started Vine, but like your brain's not developed yet, number one. And number two, it's like your parents are giving you permission to do this, but who, like you don't know what you're signing up for. You're a child. And it sort of brings in that question too. It's like, are you really aware of what you're signing up for when you're 16 years old?
Oh, I would say they're not. Nobody knew the
Yeah.
level of like fame that they would get from YouTube and the level of money. I don't think they anyone expected it.
Yeah.
So I think this was obviously new, but at the same time, like this, it's not. You can't go back.
Yeah.
You can't go back and delete it.
Yeah. And just to reference this oh my God, this twit on
You-
Twitter,
it-
this nitwit, Keemstar, people said, leave him alone, give him time to rest. Okay, which I think are pretty valid comments, pinned his way about the Etika situation when he was still alive. And it says, Keem says, suck a dick. I run a news channel. No, you don't. You have a fucking YouTube channel, you idiot. Sorry. I'm going to get my viewers the news. I don't give a fuck about your fake SJW emotions on Twitter for attention.
oh
So
my
that was his
God!
take.
Big words from Kim.
Yeah.
Okay, he
How
really
can
put
he
that
live with
person in
himself?
his place.
Yeah. How can he live with himself? Like that happened and he just continued to make content and like he's a
I
horrible
I don't
person.
know. Honestly, I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know
I
either.
think Kim also thrives off of attention a little bit.
Yes.